Hey everybody, welcome back to the Boom Boom Room. We got a new episode here, and I got with me Mr. Congrexus Prime. You want to say
What's
hi?
going on? Yeah,
Hey,
what's going
hey.
on, my dudes?
Yeah, I'm excited about having you on here, my friend. I know you're a intriguing young gentleman. You got a lot.
Intriguing.
Yeah,
Nah, that you're
intriguing.
giving me way too much credit,
I
man.
don't even know
That's
what that
crazy.
word means, really.
Intriguing. That's giving me
Intriguing. Yeah.
that's an ego stroke right there. Just
Well,
doing like this.
I don't mind, I'd rather build somebody up to tear them down, Prime.
No, hey, that's
That's
good. I like that.
yeah,
That's the way I operate too.
yeah. That's the way it's
That's
supposed
the
to
way.
be.
That's the way I know you care about me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
man. No, I'm gonna start out by saying this. I'm not just saying it because you're here. And I've told you this before, if you can remember. Um, you and the guys in the community, big influence on me starting a YouTube channel. You, Guru, Salsa, Bob, A Cup, all you guys. If I miss somebody, Cool Zone. Yeah, that's what brought me in the community. I started watching you and Guru and Salsum, and A Cup and all the boys doing State of Decay too. And I said, this dude's, man, he's badass on this game. You can
no.
play. No, man, don't. You gotta give yourself some credit sometimes in life, But man, you
You
are.
put me in some great company with some really fantastic people. I
Yeah,
am kind of privileged that I'm surrounded by those individuals, let alone people like you that have been there for a long
yeah,
time, and
yeah,
that you're not the first person to say something along those lines. It's funny, man, because I don't see myself that way,
yeah,
and it's uh it's cool. I mean, this community is um, it surprises you every day.
yeah, yeah.
You
I
know,
agree.
I mean, I watched one of your full episodes. I know you have two more, and I started the other one, but I
Uh
ran out of
huh.
time. But there's a guy that you talked to initially. I don't know if you want me to bring him up or not. I don't know if that's
No, it's
part
it's
of.
fine. It's fine.
But Ted Fitzpatrick,
Yeah,
you know, he helped me with some of my designs
yeah.
too. Matter of fact, I got to talk to him because I want to rebrand a little bit.
Uh huh.
And I gotta talk to him. I just keep forgetting, man. I have so much stuff happening, and it's
Yeah, I
like
hear you.
this much time. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like you have like this vortex of stuff happening, and you're like trying to just I want to do this. I got to talk to this guy, and then it's like God darn it, it's been
yeah,
weeks, and I said I was going to talk to this guy. Yeah, so yeah, he actually did some of my icons, and anybody that's a YouTuber
yeah.
or upcoming and wants some ideas, go talk to Ted. He didn't charge me anything.
No,
I
no.
wish he did, but he didn't.
Yeah,
He just gave it to me. He sounds, he's a really good dude. I
yes.
don't know him personally. I got to game with him a couple times with on A Cup stream and a couple of the other guys. But I don't know him personally, and it was kind of cool to listen to him. You know what I mean? And his
Yeah,
story. So, but
yeah.
enough with Ted. I just wanted to give him a quick shout out.
He is a
You
good
know,
guy. Man, he's helped me out a lot on things. He's went above and beyond. I mean, like I said, didn't ask for a dime.
yeah.
I think he's done some for a lot of people. A Cup. I think he's even done some emojis for Brian Bernard.
Mm.
Yeah, he's done a few. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm 99% sure he did it. He's told me that. But yeah, he's a straight up dude. But the reason Prime I started this channel, I was kind of talking to you before we started, is I just love talking to people, man. I just love hearing their story, because some people think that their story's small, and it doesn't matter. It might be bigger to some other people, and it might inspire them too. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
people
you
go through
don't.
a lot of things in life and come through it,
Yeah,
trials, and and I
that's
mean,
true.
I didn't like started for a specific thing. You know what I mean? Like just to gamers. I got other people I'm going to talk to. Stuff that other people might not agree with, but not believe in, if that makes sense. I don't really
No, I got you.
really want to, but I want to get where I want to talk about even down to the faith. You know what I mean? And I mean, I'm not going to ask everybody, to get personal. And questions that I ask, if people don't want to, answer it, that's fine. I just, because some people in the community might say, well, I want to know a little bit about Prime, a little bit about his background, and like I said,
you're the first ever I've ever. This will be the first time I ever get kind of like this. I know this is not an interview, but it's kind of like a format where you're gonna be asking questions and ideas and bounce it back. I've always wanted to do something like this. Yeah. Like I was always talking to Bundy Games, and we kind of did do something, but it was all State of Decay-ish,
Yeah.
But it didn't resonate. You know what I mean? So. But this is actually a good idea because you're going to be able to tackle whatever you want to tackle, whatever subject comes to your mind or whatever you've been interested in, and even talking to like experts of whatever field that you want to talk to about it. And sometimes it'll be enlightening. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if this will trigger people or not, but you're talking. We're going to talk, stuff. It's Joe Rogan had an astronaut, and they talked to an astronaut for like 3 hours. I must have watched that episode like 3 times because I found it so enlightening to talk to somebody that's been to space multiple times, has gone through the experience and the training, and it was something that I was interested in when I was a little pup back in the day, and just listening because I never talked to an astronaut. I don't know what I mean. An astronaut's a person, right? It's just, but you don't know until you're like holy crap, And you hear about his struggles, tribulations, and being in space, and all that other stuff. Being selected because only a certain amount of people at that time could go to space. It wasn't like, hey, I want to go to space. You ain't going. Yeah. It's not a ride at a theme park. At Universal Studios or something like that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was. It was really enlightening, and I guess people do have a story to tell, and you don't know. What you say is going to resonate with people and actually do good by them just by you telling your story, your experience, or give them some insight that they just didn't have, So I think this is a good idea, man.
Yeah.
I'm grateful and thankful that you asked me to come here, man. It's it's a privilege and an honor.
No problem. Let me ask you this: how many subs you setting it now? By the way, do you know?
How many what?
Subscriptions. How many people sub to your channel?
Like join members, or you just talking about?
No, just sub to your channel, just regular. How many was it? Are you setting it like 10,000?
No, nowhere near. I'm stuck like at 7.84.
7.8.
Almost 8,000. But I'm stuck there. I've been stuck there for months. It is what it is.
Yeah, man. Well, I've talked to somebody. I got an episode going to be coming out Wednesday about that. YouTube. Well, first of all, I don't want to get ahead of myself. Starting out, man, congratulations. There's a lot of people, man, been doing it for years that don't get to that many subs. I talk to a lot of people, and they're like, just like me, sitting at like 3,300 or around 3,300. They're like,
I sat there for 2 years, bro. I know the feeling. I know the grind.
Yeah, I remember that. And first of all, what made you want to start a channel, Prime? I mean, what?
This is gonna sound really corny. No. So I hope everybody has their corny ears up. But let me take a little sip of coffee.
No problem.
Before it gets too cold.
Yeah.
When I started my YouTube channel, I had this idea, right? And it wasn't for me. It wasn't self-serving. I wasn't trying to be the top YouTuber, the best looking whatever, the best graphics, the best player. None of that stuff. It was a point in my life where I had been out of the service for like, I don't know, man. I want to say 10, 12 years. And I missed like having that connection to people that weren't related to me. Like almost like having a brotherhood, right? And to me, I still have two people that I served with that no matter what happens, we could be 3 days without talking, 3 years without talking. When we talk, it's like no time has passed, and we had some experiences together. We went through trials and tribulations together. And there were other people too, I'm not just, these are the two guys that I still stay in touch with to this day. And they truly are like my brothers.
Yeah.
Like I would die for these guys without thinking about it. You know what I mean? Like if they needed me, it didn't matter. I'm going in. You know what I mean? So whatever they need me for, I'm a phone call away. And they always know that. And whatever it is, I'm down. Because that's how I feel about those guys. You know what I mean? So when I had been out of the service for so long, and I was dealing with adjusting that civilian adjustment, and people are so different, man. Like in the real world, as everybody wants to call it, people are not as loyal. They don't have the same, the same, like the people are so quick to quit or to throw you aside or to backstab you. So when I was 39 years old. It's been 5-6 years. When I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take the leap of faith. I'm gonna start making content. I started making these short little videos of this game called Aces High 2, which is like a flying game. Which I've always been big on flight sims, combat sims, and flying. I am a real pilot in real life as well. I've always gravitated towards that field and that life. So I've always had an affinity for these World War II airplanes, like since I was a little kid, since I can remember. That's a long story. And that's what I made my channel on. If you go back and you type in Aces High 2 or Aces High 3 and type in Congrexus Prime, you'll see hundreds of videos of me. And you know what? My language is pretty colorful there. So if you're down with A Cup, those are the videos. You want to watch Colorful Prime? That was Colorful Prime back when YouTube didn't care about that stuff, And you start hearing some craziness coming out of my mouth that you're probably not used to if you just started, watching me recently in the last couple of years when I've kind of, tailored the language a little bit so that the algorithm doesn't crush you. Because that's what's happening to a lot of people that don't adhere to the language. It really penalizes you deeply for you to use too many swear words.
Yeah, I'm trying to work on that myself. I think it does hurt you,
It hurts you a lot, man. Like one or two spaced out, and depending the severity of the word, it's crazy how they just put you in a coffin and you're not coming out. So I try to be mindful of that. Though, like, it's hard to sometimes not say, a word when the moment arises. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
well, let me ask you this: what branch of service was you in?
I served in the United States Navy. I was a aviation machinist mate, which is basically a jet engine mechanic, because it's very specialized. I specialized on Super Hornets, S3s, and P3s.
Wow!
So those are the 3 airplanes I worked on.
Yeah, I mentioned it kind of before to you. My oldest brother, he's got his pilot license, and he had a little Cheetah or Cessna, little plane, When my dad,
Cessna.
Yeah, and it was an older one, of course. And my uncle was a pilot. He'd mess around with planes, but my dad was in the Navy too. He was air traffic controlman. He was during the Vietnam War, and that's tough.
Yeah,
he was.
That's a tough time.
Yeah, but he ended up getting MS, multiple sclerosis, passing away with that at a young age. But I guess he was a disabled veteran, but not doing combat or nothing. But I got a lot of respect for the military, man. Thank you for your service.
Well, first of all, don't thank me because I volunteered. I thank the guys that get drafted and they didn't have a choice. Yeah. Those guys, those guys deserve it. Those are the real G's. I volunteered. I knew what I was getting into. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was either go to college or join the service. I decided the latter because I knew that going to college wasn't going to work out for me. I knew that at a young age.
Well, dude, you
So-
gotta have some kind of brain to be working on those engines and stuff. I know I
Well,
couldn't do it.
you think that people okay, being somebody that can go to school is a different mindset than being somebody that can work on stuff.
Yeah.
And I think now in 2025, people are starting to understand that there are different kinds of brains, you know, and the pattern that we or the layout that we have for scholastics now, like, you know, being a scholar, not everybody can do that, right?
Yeah.
We understand that, and you know, somebody that can read something, retain it, and do something with it, versus somebody who touches something and takes it apart and puts it back together is a whole different animal. It's not the same thing. I don't learn by reading. I can read something 100 times and it doesn't stick, man. But if I touch it, I memorize it. That's why I was able to learn to fly. It's all feel. It's not, you know, there's reading, there's stuff that you have to learn, but it's all feel. And I can feel my way through anything, basically. That sounds kind of funny. I know,
No.
if somebody else was here, they're going to take that to another. But I could feel my way through stuff, and the same thing with, like, when I first took a rifle apart in boot camp and I put it back together. That was the very first time I had done it, and I learned it first time.
Yeah.
And then everybody else was struggling, and I didn't understand why. I said, "Well, why are you struggling? This is, you know, to me, in my world, it was I could see it. Some people can't. You know, some people need a manual. The same thing with fixing a jet engine. Like, I can look at schematics, but until I touch it, I don't memorize it. And that's always been my way. That's not everybody's way, but I understand that, you know, everybody's different. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you're saying I'm smart. I don't think I'm smart by, like, the rating of scholastics or even grades or anything like that. But if I am put in a position to solve a problem, I'm pretty decent at doing it.
Well, like I said, there's different kind of smarts. I've got relatives that's in the mid 40s that can't read, dude. That's you know,
those are the best mechanics.
Make six figures. Got their own construction company. Can't hardly read. I had a great uncle. He's passed away. Now he's like 90 some years old. He couldn't even he couldn't read a map. Didn't know how to write. You know, and making $4 to $6,000 a month. You know what I mean? I mean, you don't. Sometimes if it, my mom had a saying, if it's in you, son, it's in you. It's gonna come out. You know, that's what she'd always tell me. Whatever, and I know it's hard to say, but it's like, you know, breeding animals. You know, I had relatives back, you know, hundreds of years ago. My great grandfather breed horses. You know, it's what's in you is gonna, that blood's gonna come out, and you know, you gotta have good bloodlines. There's always something behind you that's, you know, it's going to come out in you, you know, your blood or your relatives. And me personally, like, so, you know, like, you can do that. You know, me looking from the outside looking in, that's a gift. That's a talent you've got. You know, you might say, well, no, it is, man. Not everybody can do that. And I've dealt with a lot of, I got a lot of guitar players and my family. And like my son, he's good at reading, you know, he picks it up. Me personally, I never was good at all, but I've got some relatives can just pick it up by ear and just bam, 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 play anything. And then I got on the other side, you got the other people that can't do it by ear, you know, barely, but they're good at reading tab and music and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But me personally, I haven't found my talent yet. I'm still looking. You know, something I can actually say I'm decent at. I'm still searching for it. You know, I'm not giving up either. I'm gonna keep going. But no, I think your channel is successful, Prime. You know, as far as your channel goes, I think you know, you're doing a hell of a job, man. You're inspiring a lot of people, and a lot of people look up to you, man. You're very entertaining. You know, watch. You're damn good at State of Decay too, for sure. But let me ask you this here: is there any games that's coming? I want to tell you right now, you were right about State of Decay 3. You nailed it, about them pushing it back and stuff like that, because everybody's saying, oh, it's going to come out this 2025, and you were 100% right. You nailed it on that. But is that, what games would you say you really look forward to coming out here?
Well, like in the next year
Yeah,
or
next
next
year,
6 months, or you're talking about
next couple
like
years,
future.
That,
All right. Right now, I'm on the fence because there's only one game that I'm really looking
yeah,
forward to right now. It's supposed to
yeah.
come out this year, and that's Grand Theft Auto 6.
Oh yeah,
That game has a lot of stuff floating around
yeah.
it, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed, right?
Uh-huh.
And hoping that the game is actually good or decent at best, and that we can do stuff in that game multiplayer wise. Because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
like a single player game is cool, they're fun,
Uh-huh.
but that multiplayer is what brings it all together. You know what I mean? Like being
Uh-huh.
able to interact with your community, being able to bring people in.
Yeah.
I found out through State of Decay 2 that was what was the driving force
Uh-huh.
of people, like watching other people play with you, interacting, having good conversations, kind of like we're having now, but with gameplay in the background and laughing. And some of my best moments in the last few years have been playing State of Decay 2 with a lot of community members. Like, I don't know if you remember the content creator Tino,
Yeah.
um, Bundy Games. I met him before that, but he kind of like evolved through that,
Mm-hmm.
playing with A Cup, playing with Bob Cadaver, playing with Guru,
Yeah.
the great Guru, playing with Sawsome Gaming. I remember I was in one of his first multiplayer things that I went in there with him when he was like upcoming. Like he didn't
Yeah.
even. I don't even think he had 1,000 subs, or maybe less than
Yeah.
that when I played with him, and I did one of the first videos with him, and he was like, asking me a lot of questions and asking me stuff, and at the time he was also new to State of Decay 2. So yeah, I've kind of seen people come and pass me by because
Yeah.
Sawsome is at 10,000 plus right now.
Yeah.
And other people that I've interacted with, in the past have waved at me and they're gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I've seen that. I've seen people, be successful. People struggle. People are in the
Yeah.
grind. It seems like it's luck of the draw, when it comes to like how you measure success. For me, if I was looking to be successful, in YouTube, I would probably do more, right?
Yeah.
So I just don't have the time,
Yeah.
to put into a channel, and I think it's all time based.
Yeah.
Like if you put X amount of hours, then you get X amount of subscribers. There's a number. There's a
Yeah.
metrics. It's a numbers game,
Yeah.
So, and if you don't put the time or the effort in, or don't put the right material out on top of that, you're not going anywhere. You know what I mean?
Well, what do you think is formula for success on YouTube? Do you think that's like what you said right there?
I think it's like, how in aviation you have a thing called rate over climb, right? So it's like, like how much power does it take for you to go higher and faster? So rate over climb. It's the same thing with YouTube. There's a number that I don't know exactly the number because I don't have the formula, but I think I've noticed this. Like whenever I stream for 2 hours, right? And I say do it once or twice a week, my numbers are abysmal. But let's just say I stream 4 or 5 times in a week and I go over the 4-hour mark, which 4 hours seems to be the magic number. At the end of those streams, there's a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And there's a magical number. I don't know the number, and I'm not claiming I do. I haven't figured out, but there's something to do with time, and also, what time you do it. It's important.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you're doing it at a time where nobody's awake, then you're probably gonna get no numbers.
Yeah.
And if you are doing it when everybody's at work, you're probably not going to remember. So there's like a happy medium of time and how much, and then of course the game you're playing or what you're doing, your content that you're creating.
So
has something to do with it.
Because I believe personally, like I said, there's like a formula,
Mm-hmm.
to do better on YouTube, but I do think it's different for each individual. You know what I mean? It's got to be, because I can stream at a certain time, and I got people from overseas. A lot of them watch me.
I used to have a lot of people overseas watch me too,
You know
like
what I
for the
mean?
Philippines and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and which is good. I'm glad, that they do. But on your personal opinion on that, do you think that it's better to live stream every day or just a few times a week?
No, I the way I've been successful has been staying at it. I try to stay consistent with time and days, but a combination of videos, like video format, and streaming as a joint marriage.
Gotcha.
Holding hands. If you do one or the other, it's almost you're a guy of balance, right?
Yeah.
You said you were a guy of balance. I heard you say it.
Yeah.
So you like balance, right?
Yeah,
So that is finding that balance between, videos and streaming, whatever that is, and then you'll find your audience. And then, of course, here's the problem. When you have a lot of people that are part of your audience that are content creators, that hurts you.
Yes. I was going to get into that.
It's going to hurt you because there's no way in hell that I can watch everything Guru makes, everything Saucy makes, everything you make, and there's no way nobody can watch everything I make along with everything they have to make as well. So you have to kind of find that the audience, the people that are going to kind of like your ride or dies, those are the guys. And I tell you what, Ashes, I'm very particular about stuff because in the past 5-6 years ago, I had some issues with certain content creators and certain people on YouTube, and that taught me a life lesson. And I learned to kind of put walls and limit, you know what I mean? And just kind of make my circle smaller.
I got you.
And I had to do that because even though you, or let's say me, may not be that way, there are a lot of people in this world that will find a way to stab you in the back, even though you had nothing but good intentions for them. Yeah. And you never crossed them out in space. You know what I mean? You always talk to them behind the scenes. Yeah. And you always try to fix the problems. And you thought everything was cool until you weren't cool, and then you find out what they're about.
I get it. I mean, that works in real life too.
Yeah, man. In real life too. It's a life lesson.
No, it really does. You gotta watch your P's and Q's. It's sad to say that, but you gotta watch what you do. And when you're a content creator, who you tell what, when, where, how, because some people just want to, see your demise. I mean, just out for the fun of it, But yeah, man. Do you prefer playing solo or multiplayer if you had a choice?
I have most of my fun. It depends on the game, but most of my fun that I have normally is when we do co-ops, like the multiplayer, especially with like different people, especially people I vibe with. People that are like, not necessarily they're like me, because I don't like to hang around people that are like me. I actually like people to be the polar opposites. You guys nobody knows this. I'm gonna share a little secret.
All right.
Me and Bundy are total opposites when it comes to, how we sit on the political spectrum, how we sit on, religion, how we sit on a bunch of stuff. Yeah. And it doesn't. It's funny that he even said it one day. He said, "Man, we're like totally different. I'm surprised that you still talk to me. And I was like, bro, that's what I like. I like people that keep me grounded, because I believe that the more different than people are, the more you learn from them.
Exactly.
You know, the more different you are. Like if you're polar opposite to me in every way, shape, or form, and we find common ground and we can still get along, we can still play together. Hey man, I did it. I was able to flip the screen. I've been trying to do this the whole stream because I saw myself like this big.
Did you?
And now I actually see myself the way I'm supposed to be seen.
That's cool.
And the more different you are, the more I want to be around you, because I can't stand people that think the same way I do, because you're going to leave me blind to the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like the more different you are, whether that's race, color, religion, creed, country, doesn't matter. The more different you are, the more I'm gonna gravitate towards finding out about you, because just like you, I like to learn from people. People have a lot to offer.
Yeah, me too. Me too. That's
even the bad ones.
That's why
even the bad ones.
Yeah, you know, even before they had that commercial back in the late '80s, early '90s, you can learn a lot from a dummy. My dad used to say that. You know, even before the commercial, he said, "Son, listen to a dummy." I mean, because you can even learn from them. I mean,
you can.
You can learn.
Your dad's absolutely right.
Yeah, and but you know, he had all, you know, how dads got wisdom and stuff. They did, but I look back, hindsight's 2020. Boy, they was trying to tell you for the right. I know that. But yeah, that's how I am, Prime. I know I mentioned it many times here. That's what started this, man. That's what started this podcast. And I can actually say I started it. I'm not worried about success or blowing up or like that. I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy breaking the wall down, you know, and talking about, well, shit, you know, talk about religion, even might talk about politics, or you know their childhood. You know, there's a couple people that's dealt with addiction. You know, I want to get them on there, you know, and talk about it, because it might help somebody that's been struggling with that. And just like you telling, you know, about YouTube, you know, that might help them with their channel and stuff. Because right now, you know, like my channel, I'm reading a lot of analytics for the last couple months. You know, shorts, I believe 100% shorts were hurting my channel, taking away from my views. So I quit doing them. And I think that
I toned them down. I don't know if you noticed, I maybe do one or two a month now. I don't, maybe 2 or 3 a month. I used to put one out every day. Yeah. And I saw the same thing you saw, that it's not, I mean, it gives you views, but it doesn't give you an audience.
No.
It'll give you views. It might get some subs too.
Oh yeah, it'll give you subs.
But you're not going to build an audience, man. No. And I think that's the hardest part to develop in YouTube, is to actually have people that you would think, right? I'm gonna say something. This person's probably gonna watch this podcast, and he's gonna call me out. He's gonna call me at it later, but that's okay. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Yeah. And then it might blow his head up a little bit too. So let's, you know, I'm gonna say it anyway, because it was wise. He said, and I quote, "People are gonna like what they're gonna like." Yeah. And you would think that, you know, you said that, you know, you find what I do entertaining, which to each their own. I don't think I'm entertaining, but that's just me. I think I'm just a bland dude, right? They can play certain games adequately, right? Yeah. That's how I look at myself. Now, flight simulators, that's a whole different animal. I love that stuff. That's you know, I need to go back to that, and maybe one day I'll be able to, but right now it's not feasible. You know, people are gonna like who they're gonna like, and I would think that just because I'm not playing, let's say, State of Decay 2, that some of those people will watch me play whatever it is I'm playing, just to watch Prime do Prime, right? Mm-hmm. But that's not the case. You know, they only show up for that particular game or that particular genre, and they'll show up, and some will stick around, some don't. And I've had a lot of that. I have like a revolving door of people that were there, and there's only like a selected narrow few people that doesn't matter what I play or who I'm playing with, they're there. So And I think that's
how do you feel about that? I mean, how does that make you feel?
I understand it because I'll be honest. Let's say I'm not trying to boost other channels, but
I get you.
I'm watching somebody else, right? I'm watching them play a particular game, and they're they're good at that game.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna watch them play. I'm like, oh snap, man, he's doing things way different than me.
Yeah,
he got a way different play style. What is this he's doing? He's using, and so I'm watching, and that's intriguing. And then once I go back to that person and they're doing the same exact thing over and over again, it gets kind of repetitive. And I think that's what happens. Like, you're just, everybody's stuck in their ways and the way they do things, and then they get bored. Or the game just gets old and people move on to other games. People are gonna like what they're gonna like, man. Yeah, and you gotta count your blessings when you have, one or two or five, or some people have 10 people that show up no matter what you do.
Yep.
And those are the or the people that have like invested in your channel, like they've been joint members since day one.
Yeah.
And they're investing in your channel always, and they're always putting time when they can put it in there. Those are the people you got to kind of like.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
exactly. Put them up, put them up high, because those are hard to come by.
Exactly. I'm not gonna call any names. I've got channel members that's been for months that I hardly ever see them in my streams, man. I mean, me too. Me too.
But here's the other thing: you may not see them, but they're watching you.
Yeah, they're watching.
Yeah. I know that for a fact because I'll have, let's say, I'm doing a stream on my worst day.
Yeah,
I got 3 people watching me, right? On some of my best days, I have 30, 40. That's like, oh my God, when that happens, I'm in cloud 9, But nobody's talking in chat.
Yeah.
And I'm like, or you have all these people that have the join button, but they never comment, they never interact, but they're there. So
yeah.
You gotta take your wins when you got them.
Really, all it counts to me, they're there even if they don't say anything. Because me personally, if I hit double digits, I'm ecstatic. Me
too.
Digits.
Anytime I break double digits, I don't want to get off. Even if I'm tired, I'm dying. I'm like, I gotta keep going. But, can't let it go.
What do you think? What do you think the percentage of people that show up to watch you live or any channel, do you think it's 50-50 on like the game and then that person's personality? What do you think the ratio?
I don't know. I would say a high number is going to be the game.
Yeah.
In my experience, it's been the game.
Yeah.
And then everything. I see the same comments all the time. Oh man, you guys are funny, or this person and this person. You guys, and then you take the same people and you put them in another game. Nobody shows up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not the personality. It's obviously the game.
Yeah.
It's obviously the environment, whatever that is. Exactly. So if anybody's like on a particular game set, then that's what they're gonna do. Yeah. And sometimes some communities are open to like people showcasing their games, especially their games that are not being played that much, versus like the popular games that thousands of streamers are streaming. You're competing against them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just getting lucky, man. It's a numbers game.
Well, how do you feel like you as a content creator? Like if a new game comes out, are you gonna jump right on it, or have done already?
If I like the game, I'm gonna jump on it.
Yeah.
If I don't care for the game, I won't jump on it. It's just it depends on the game. Like, look, I've been playing Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 since day one, since it launched. But I was playing the first one, and I was like astonished. I was like, "Wow, I didn't even know this game existed," And I played it because of my nephew, and then he was like, "Hey, man, play this," and I was like, "Man, this is King Arthur. I don't want to, you know what I mean? Like, don't do this. Knights and swords." He said, "But they got bows." I was like, "Okay, you got my attention now." I like bows, in real life. I like archery too.
Yeah.
So you got my attention, and then it was hard as hell to shoot in that game, and I was like, okay, you got me. So, the story, was big, and KCD1, and then I've been playing KCD2 live, and it initially was doing fantastic. And then now I can't get 3 people to watch me play the game. So, I'm still gonna play it. There's certain games I'm gonna just die on the shield for, and then some games if I start a series and I see that it's not doing anything, I stop. And I move on. Because what's the point of wasting your time playing a game nobody wants to watch or nobody's gonna watch later? Just let it go.
That's how I feel. I had a couple of games on my channel. I just quit, man. I just said, can't do it. I won't keep you much longer. I know you got to go somewhere. Maybe another 15, 20 minutes. Is that good?
That's fine, man. Whenever you want to cut this off, I'm good.
If I know this is a very hard question to answer. If you had 3 games, what's your top 3 games of all time?
Oh, that's easy.
Favorite game.
That's easy.
That's
easy. The first game that kind of changed the way I looked at games was the old game called Knights of the Old Republic.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first game I ever played, not the multiplayer one, the original Degler, Knights of the Old Republic. That game had a twist in the middle. I didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
I got gut punched by the twist in that game, and I was like, oh my God.
Blowed you away.
I'm the bad guy. The game's old. Everybody, I'm the bad. I've been reverend. Like, it's like, wait a minute. And then everything makes sense, and it was such a twist. It was such a game that was written so effing good, man. Yeah. Like, just the writing, and it's dated now. You look at the game, you're like, damn, it looks tough. Tough to look at, but but just the core of that game, Knights of the Old Republic, is going to always be my number 1. Number 2, everybody's going to know it, Mass Effect, but really Mass Effect 2 for the same reason. The writing, the character building, the kind of like all your choices at the end really affect your ending, and just the spider web of choices that you can make. And the replayability of that game was insane. And I would say third will probably be, and this is going to be a controversial one for a lot of people. The third game, the top game was State of Decay 1.
Yeah.
That was my third. And then not because of the story, but because of the potential of that game. Which I think was, even though State of Decay 2 is a good game, and people are going to be like, going to start saying, well, whatever, State of Decay 1 is dated. I've never played it. I don't know nothing about it. When I looked at the potential of State of Decay 1, because it's very similar to GTA, right? Like, if you look at it, it's open world, except with zombies. There's some choices to be made. There's some story in SOD1. But the potential of that game going nuclear, to like from what was it, like 17 people made that game? It was something like some ridiculous number. It was 13, 17, something like that. It was a very, very low budget, and it started off with it was like an Xbox app. It wasn't even a game, right? And then it turned into a game, and I bought the initial copy when it came on Steam. I still have it. And I played it on Steam forever because I was a PC guy. And I was like, man, this game, something keeps making me come back. And it's just the ambience of it, the feel, and the potential. All the crazy stuff that you can do in the game that a lot of people don't even know how to do. But, you figure it out. And some of the combat mechanics, some of the kicks, and the environmental stuff that you can't even do in SOD2, which I've covered a bunch of times. Yeah. And it's just the potential of it. And when I played State of Decay 2, it was almost like they gutted State of Decay 1 and they used the safe aspects of it, but they never took that chance like they were taking chances in State of Decay 1. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
And the depth, they took away the depth of the game because the game was deeper with classes and there was more random aspect to it. And, when State of Decay 2 came out, we didn't even have two-handed style weapons. You know what I mean? You didn't have that. Yeah,
it evolved.
That came later. Yeah. Juggernaut Edition. That came later.
Yeah, it evolved.
The outposts. But people say it evolved. It didn't. All they did was use the stuff from 1 and they put it into 2 eventually.
Yeah.
That's what they did with the Outpost. That's what they did with everything else. If you look at the game for what it was, that's why State of Decay 1 has like a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
Though the shooting is a little janky, the game is janky as hell. There's some physics that are kind of,
Yeah.
Still, just the potential of the game. That's why I hold it in my third. But the top 1 and 2 for sure, man.
Yeah.
Mass Effect, the Mass Effect series, but basically Mass Effect 2, and always is going to be BioWare, the old school BioWare. To the Old Republic. That was a game that you guys could see that got stuff in the back with lightsabers and stuff.
Yeah, I'm a big Star Wars fan.
I used to be huge. Now I'm toned it down. Now I'm more like, I guess I'm the old grandpa that likes the old stuff more than the new stuff.
I'm kind of like it. Also like Predator movies. I like the original.
You were talking about that. Yes. You were talking.
I like them all.
Yeah.
I mean, I like more.
I like the first 2.
Oh yeah.
And you said Prey was good. I agree with you. Prey was good. The ones in between, they were okay. Some were like,
Yeah.
But Prey was pretty good. Prey surprised me, just like it surprised you.
Yeah.
And it surprised me. I didn't expect it. I was watching. I was like, okay, let's watch this thing. I was like, this is gonna be one of those. I'm gonna have to, put toothpicks in my eyes to stay awake. But nah, it was really good.
Yeah.
And it was a very well directed. The story kind of, was done well enough where I was engaged. It had some stuff on it where they were talking about it being a certain kind of,
woke and all that
spectrum. Yeah. And I was like,
see it. I didn't. I mean, me personally,
I still watched it.
Yeah,
I still watched it, and I was like, let me watch it. It's a popcorn flick, and I sat through it, and I was like, hey man, this is actually not that bad. I don't know what the hell these people are talking about. But Predator 1, get down.
Yeah.
I tell you what, man, they ain't nothing like Arnold, man.
No, Aliens too.
Aliens 2.
Yeah.
Aliens 2. Like
Man.
Aliens. Oh my god, that movie.
Man.
Oh my, you can't do better.
No.
I'm sorry.
No.
You can't do better than that. Was crazy.
Yeah.
That's a 1980 movie. You know what I mean? Like,
I could still
and 80
watch
something.
that.
I still watch it and still be scared out of my pants.
Yeah. And
you know what I mean?
And my ex, just a recent ex, looked just like Sigourney Weaver. She was.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
That's tough.
She had, she was a little older. We all, lose her flair when we get older. But when she was younger, man. But I mean, as far as movies, I've always been a sci-fi guy, and it's hard anymore, Prime, to find a decent movie. Man, I can't.
That's true.
It's hard.
I don't know what happened, man. I don't know what happened.
It's all about that money. It's all about that money. They don't care about quality anymore.
I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to the creative minds.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened somewhere. I don't know, man. Like 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
There was like a drop in
Yep.
in movies, and now they're falling through. I'm the same way, man. It's hard to find a decent. I think Guardians of the Galaxy was one of the last sci-fi movies that came out.
Yeah.
Sort of sci-fi that I was set down and I really enjoyed.
Yep.
And I'm a huge like superhero movie fan too.
Yeah.
And lately they have not been just good. I mean, let's just be honest.
No,
it's all been kind of like they have a template.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like you're making cookies and you put it on the dough, and then you pull the template out and you have, hey, look, it's a zebra. Oh, look, it's a lion cookie. But it's still there's no soul in it. You know what I mean? There's no
exactly. Because
it's just all cookie cut. Unfortunately, that's what's been going on. Or the remakes that have been atrocious as well. So
because when I watch a movie, I want some emotions in it. When I get done, it, I want to say, "Wow, that made me feel, scared or thrilled me,
I mean, you want to
me,
that there's got to be some kind of to me it has to be some kind of character building.
Yeah,
like almost like an epic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what Star Wars in the beginning got right. Like, the original Star Wars, it was an epic story. And I mean an epic, like an old epic, like the Iliad, like a hero's journey.
Yeah.
Like, this is plain Joe, whatever. And they go through stuff through their life, or just things happen, and they're forced to step up to be this person that they were not intended to be, but they are.
Yeah.
And they become, I don't know, a Jedi Knight, Luke Skywalker story. If you think about it, it's a, his father was this great Jedi Knight that he kept hearing about, but he wasn't a Jedi Knight. He was a freaking moisture farmer.
Yeah.
So like, you think about it, it's all about like a hero's journey, like watching. And I think today we're like, movies are rushing to get to the hero part, or be the hero and be badass and destroy a planet. With the look of the eye, with the blink of the eye, look.
Yeah.
And then boom, the planet blows up, and you're like, okay, well, I don't feel nothing.
Yeah. You want to build up. You want that.
You want to get that. You want to get that attachment, and then you also have like the supporting characters, or the supporting people that help build that person, or that cause the catalyst to put that person in that position.
Exactly.
And they don't. I don't know, man.
They don't.
I'm not a writer.
Yeah.
I'm not saying just like I'm not a programmer, but I'm saying that there are still good pieces of art. For example, you said Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
I have not played that game, though I have watched a lot of it.
Yeah.
And some of the cinematics in that game are movie quality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there are some media that still have good writing. I'll give you an example. KCD1 was a very well-written game. If you want a game that has like a really good story, and you can get behind the character, when it's on sale, buy it. Try it out. I'm telling you. Mass Effect, that series, you like sci-fi, try it. I'm telling you, those are still games that are still recent enough where they don't look horrible, and they have a good story to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but movies, man, it's been tough.
Yeah, it's been tough on me. I think when when the new GTA comes out, I'll definitely buying it. Hopefully it'll be good. I'll buy it. We could play some multiplayer, man. Yeah, it's cross your finger.
Well, hopefully because right now I'm on console. I don't know if you guys can see my PS5 right there. It's I'm on console, not by choice, but I have two consoles. I got the Xbox and I have the PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
Those games are not cross-platform, which I wish they were. Like games like Helldivers I was able to play on my PS5 and play with somebody on PC.
Yeah.
You could do that, but not all games are allowed to do that. I don't know why.
I thought you were on PC. You're not on PC?
I'm not on PC. My gaming rig right now is what I use to stream.
Okay.
I don't have a choice.
Gotcha.
I used to have two PCs. This used to not be here. This used to be a PC, and then I have a PC over here. But right now I can't do that because what I want is cost too much money, and I'm like, hey, I gotta chill. For now, at least. But if I can, I will. That's the goal. I was hoping to be like this big YouTuber, personality, and got money just flying in on Lamborghinis. I could have 3 computers running at the same time.
Yeah, man, maybe one day.
I don't. I will never get there.
You never know, man. You do not know. I've seen things happen that you'd say, no way. You never know, Prime.
It's not in the cards, brother. I accept that.
Well,
I don't have the charisma that some people have.
No, man.
So,
you did. Why do you put yourself down?
I don't, man. I don't. There's some guys out there that have the.
Well, they
have that gift. Listen. Yeah. I'm very calculated about stuff, and I could see myself in the mirror, and I could see who I am.
Yeah.
And I know what projection I throw out to the space. Now, I could have all the good intentions in the world, but I'm never going to be that guy. And I'm okay with it. I'm fine. I don't have to be.
Yeah.
I'm happy with small victories.
Me too. I mean, what do you see? I won't keep you much longer. Ask you a few more questions, but what do you see?
Ask me what you need to ask me, Ashes. I'm good.
Your channel. What do you see future for your channel? I mean, what do you project? What do you want in the next, say, couple years?
I don't know how long I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
There's been times where I wanted to pull the plug. To be honest with you. It's been recent too, where I was like, I don't see why especially when you have like bad week
Oh yeah.
or you make content and you think people are excited for it and you don't get the reaction or you don't get the people to show up. It does. It's like an emotional roller coaster,
Oh
right?
yeah.
And
You're right.
sometimes you're like, "Hey, man, I'm done," and then something good happens, and you're like, "Okay, maybe I could do it for another couple of days."
Yeah.
And it's just been one of these, man. I'll be honest. I would have probably pulled the plug out.
Uh-huh.
If I wasn't monetized 3 years ago, I probably would have pulled the
Yeah.
plug long before that.
Yeah.
And it's not the money; it's the people that are behind you.
Uh-huh.
Your support, like it's almost like you're a bridge, right? This is how I look at my channel. It's a bridge, and I have support struts underneath it holding me up, right? The more people that are holding me up,
Yeah.
right, in terms of like
Yeah.
them coming on, being excited, talking to me, interacting with me, it's almost like it's like a Zen energy, right? But when you don't have that and you
Yeah.
don't have that support, and the bridge falls, and that's how I look at it. The day that I have no more support,
Yeah.
or that I don't have people behind me that believe in me, kind of like kind of like everybody that's I've come forward and say, hey man, I did this because of you,
Yeah.
or I did this because whatever, I'm behind you, Prime. Those little things, those little nuances,
Yeah.
they go very far into how long I can do this.
Yeah.
If I have none of that, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
So if I look at my channel, I'm gonna look at it like a living document,
Yeah.
like it's breathing.
Yeah.
And as long as I have people behind me that believe in me, I'm gonna go as long as I can go. Because I don't quit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the day that I look and I have nothing, or I don't have that many people
Yeah.
that are interested, or just I stream to nobody, and or I make content and nobody watches it, it's the day that I'll be like, well, it's been fun, guys. I guess
Yeah.
I'm not it.
So
I'll watch somebody else.
So you having X amount of subscribers, that's not really that doesn't
No.
thrill you. It's
Nope.
not.
Nope.
It's a,
Listen, I'd rather have listen to this. This is crazy. I'd rather have 50 subscribers, right? But have all 50 of them
Yeah.
watch me play or interact with me the whole
Yeah.
entire time that I'm doing whatever it is that I'm
Yeah.
doing, than have 5 million subscribers and
Yeah.
having 3 people watch me stream.
Yeah. Yeah, because I see these big streamers or medium streamers, and they've got 500 or 600 people in chat, man, and they're all talking, but they don't interact with chat. How do you feel about that? I mean,
It's hard, man. Listen, when it comes to that, that's when things get difficult. I would say like there's like a cushion. I see I can manage like 20, 30 people.
Yeah.
But then after that, bro, it just becomes so much. You have to slow the chat down, and you have to pause, and it's hard to zero in on the individuals when there's so many people screaming at you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I don't think I want to get that big, man. Honestly,
I don't think I want to ever reach that either, because I don't think I can manage it. I could barely manage chat when there's 20 people talking to me. And I try to speed read to the corner of my eye because I'm playing something that normally requires attention, and I have a one track mind, and I have so much bandwidth, right?
Sometimes you misread things,
all the time. Oh, that's another problem.
Yeah.
That's another problem. We could touch on that at a later date if you want, but it's not intentional, and it's a problem that I always have with the way my brain works.
Yeah.
So I can go somewhere one time and always remember how to get there.
Yeah.
I can memorize landscapes, I can memorize things, but names, I've always struggled. Always, bro.
Yeah.
It's even reading them, like it just, if the name is odd or there's an odd letter in there, and I mispronounce it all the time, and it's not intentional. And most people don't know that, but it's not intentional. It's something I have with the way I look at things.
Well, when I first started my channel, I had a different name, You know, remember it was Beauty for Ashes, and you would call me
Beautiful
Beauty.
Ashes.
You call me
Beautiful.
Beauty. Yeah, you call me
Yeah,
Beauty all the
beautiful.
time.
Yeah.
And Ray Bundy said, "Man, that's a dude. That's not a." You start calling me Beauty. That's why I changed it, you know, to Ashes Antics and stuff. Because when I started,
Oh my God! I call somebody else a change.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he thought I was a girl.
It's not. No, I didn't think you were a girl.
What?
And that I did.
What, did you
I
think
knew
I
that.
was trans or something?
No.
What was it?
It's just the way. Okay.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with Bob Cadaver, right?
Yeah.
Bob Cavender is his name, right?
Yeah.
But I always looked at it,
Uh-huh.
and at first glance, it's Bob Cadaver,
Yeah.
and that's what I used to call him. Until one day, Bundy's like, "Man, you need to stop looking at. Read that again." And I was like, "Oh, Bob Cavender," but it's not. It's something that I do subconsciously sometimes because I have to ultra focus on people's names.
I always thought his name ain't Bob Cadaver.
No, it's Bob Cavender, but he
changed
it the same way you did.
Yeah,
because I gave him a complex or something.
I didn't know that, man.
The same thing with C-Daz.
Yeah,
C-Daz's name was something else, and then I C Live or something like that. But that was it was something something Clive, and it's not something I do intentional, man.
I know, I understand. It was funny, you know. It was really funny. But hey, look, Prime, man, it's an honor to have you on there. I do really appreciate it. You got to come back for another episode. We got a lot to talk about in the future.
Yeah, no, man. And whenever you want, man, just give me a heads up. I know you got some other people lined up, so whenever you have time, you know, whenever you have, we'll schedule it.
Yeah, I want to talk
and
about
we'll make
some other. There's a lot we could talk about, you know.
Good.
Might get a little personal too. Hey, you want to plug? You want to plug your channel? Because I might butcher.
But this is your show, man. If you want to plug me in, you plug me in. But I'm not gonna do that. This is your show.
Whoever's watching this, make sure you go and subscribe to Congrexus Prime. I'll try to put it in the in the description of the video. You know, your channel and stuff. Because I have a hard time saying your name of your channel sometimes. Congrex, that's why I always call you Prime.
Rebranding. I gotta rebrand, man.
Where did you get that? No, don't change it. Where did you get that name from anyway?
All right. There was a game called Earth Siege, right?
Uh-huh.
And the main enemy in that was a AI program that decided to make its own robots, right? Into mechs and stuff like that. Well, the main entity was called Congrexes, which is a multiple of 4. It's actually a math thing, which I am not good at, by the way. But I thought that was such a cool and unique name that I've always carried that name as a handle in a lot of my games that I play. And I've had it on my Xbox. I've had it in my PlayStation since I've had a PlayStation 1, 2, 3. Whenever the PlayStation went into the internet, I've had it as an ID on Steam forever, and it's always been because of this old game called Earth Siege. And Earth Siege 2, if you go look at it, it's like a mech game, and there's some flying in it too. So it's that's where it comes from. It's actually from that, but it means a multiple of 4.
What about Prime? Is that part of it too, or is that...
Prime was the channel. Prime was kind of like. I like Transformers, robots, and Optimus, but I couldn't call myself. I can't disrespect Optimus like that. I'm nowhere near.
Disrespect.
I can't disrespect him. Or I can't call myself Galvatron or nothing. Yeah, I can't do it. So I was like, you know what? I just add Congrexes to a Prime, and I just be like one of them little future Primes that got the hand me down, Allspark.
It's a unique to me. It's a unique name, man. It fits you. It fits you. I couldn't. Unfortunately,
YouTube doesn't like that name. So
really, no, they do. Mm-mm. You gotta give it time, man. Believe me.
They don't like it.
Believe me. Believe me.
Look, I want anybody who's watching this podcast to type in CONGRE and stop. Right? And see what the search engine tells you. See if my name comes up.
Really?
And then type in CONGREXES and see if and go space and see if Prime shows up. If it's not prompting you, it's for a reason.
Really?
So yeah, if you look at anybody else's channel, go ahead and do that. Start typing their name, and see if it shows up on the search box. Like, you know, let's say, let me give you an example. Joe Rogan. Type in Joe, and then space, and it'll fill that out for you. Rogan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The Joe Rogan podcast, or whatever famous person is hot. You know, PewDiePie, whatever. Just start typing, and it'll come up on the search box.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I don't.
Just give it time.
Even on Rumble. Even on Rumble, brother. They don't like it, man. I'm telling you, it's too close to, you know, other stuff.
I got you. But look, brother, I appreciate you being on here, and well, definitely if you'll come back, man, I gotta have you on here again. I really enjoyed this. I could have talked for hours.
Yeah, man. It's been fun.
I've been trying to keep them down to about 30 minutes to an hour.
I apologize. I took so much of your time, man.
No, man. Believe me, I got plenty of time. I'm worried about your time, and I want eventually. I'm at the point, I can go live. I'm gonna see about that a little bit later. Maybe we can do some live streams sometimes. We got to talk about some stuff. But anyway, everybody out there, appreciate you watching the Boom Boom Room. Until next time, peace out, everyone.